as I see all this hard work I've contributed, I've seen what I've done, I've seen the growth, I've seen the improvement. I think about this website that I didn't need to hire someone else to do. I think about some of the work that I've said in the previous bit of time, like, yo, let me work with other people. Let me see what somebody else's ideas bring to the table. Let me see what happens if I take this idea to a certain point and then give it to somebody else and let them run with it. That's what I did when I created the TNT food experience branding. I had no idea about design and branding. It was my first business thing. And I doodled up something, got it to a certain point, and then took that to a designer, graphic designer. Her name was Nevada, actually. And she cooked up some fire, and I loved it, and it was great. It was perfect. I had a similar experience when I was coming up with my Terrence Taylor branding, and I didn't really know what to do. And I worked with a designer, and I paid $1,600 to get my name in a box. All right. I'm not mad at it because sure, it sounds simple, but in design world, it could take a while to just put a name in a box. All right, fine, got it. Fast forward, now I'm developing things. I meet people, they're creative, they do other things. I want to build my, foundation, my crew of creative people. I always wanted a ASAP mob crew of creative people. That shit's not gonna fly. I am Russ. I do everything on my own and I don't really need to outsource to anyone. That's what I've realized. I have spent, bro, I've spent 25 grand on paying people to do shit that I wanted to offload. I wanted to just go like, yo, I have other things to create. Like, y'all just do this. You make the website. You design the logo. You do. And the truth is, I would rather do it myself. At least at the very least at stage one. What I've realized is if I try to work with somebody at stage one and I haven't fully formulated what it needs to be, it takes too much back and forth to try to land on what it is. So what I end up having to do is create it to a certain point. And then I was feeling like, all right, let me get it to a certain point and then let me bring somebody else in and they can add their 3% and take it to the next level. Cool. But even when I'm doing that, I'm realizing like that's taking more time. And I'm not necessarily enjoying the process of working with other people because you have to just dealing with other people. And the pace in which I operate, I don't have time to wait a week and some change for you to do this thing that in real time, you need to just sit down for an hour and do it and have a sense of urgency and get back to me. But people just don't operate that way. And I can't leave my success and my creativity and the things I need to manifest in the laps of others. I could have built this fucking website on my own. We come up with a creative idea. We came up with an idea that was my fucking idea that they just had to implement. So the realization is if I learn how to do some of the implementation stuff, then I actually don't need to deal with somebody else. Because the creatives, the going back and forth on the creative, I usually don't need help. And my creative ideas usually stick. It's just how do we do that? The I Want My Change coin, for example, working with graphic designer Andrew Mukama, who's been incredibly helpful. He designed the workbook. And we had a coin idea and it took months to work through something, and I didn't like it. And then eventually I was like, I'll just do it myself. I went on YouTube, found a video on how to use Photoshop and make a coin, and I just spent an hour or two just doing that. When I had it at the end of the day, it took me a few hours, and we had spent months trying to so to their credit, us spending months figuring out what this thing needed to be is the time it took for me to get to, oh, I want a coin and I want it to look like this. Fine. But in terms of the implementation and the actual delivering of the idea, I did it myself, and it took me a few hours. I got a list of things that Andrew and I were supposed to have a meeting yesterday. I have not looked at my calendar in weeks because I'm not scheduling things. I'm just working. So 7:30 comes, I'm out walking the dog, and we're supposed to have a meeting. So, oh shit, whoops. And then I'm sitting around last night, and I'm like looking at the things that we need to meet about, and I'm like, I could do that. I could probably do that too. And I'll do that also. It's not that I don't want Andrew to do it, and it's not that I don't trust Andrew to do it. I don't know how I feel about outsourcing creative things to other people anymore. Not things that I know how to do. I don't want to spend money and put opportunities in other people's hands to see what they come up with. I'm not doing that shit anymore. I'm not. I've given people enough opportunities. I see what happens. No thanks. And Andrew's great. I fucking love it. It's awesome. I love working with Andrew. He's one of the few people that I've been able to draw the personal and professional boundary line fairly well. Helps that he lives in Ontario, so we don't cross human paths for real. But it's a relationship that there's much better boundaries there. And so, as I'm looking at what needs to be done, it's like, do I need to hire Andrew to do that? I originally hired Andrew because of the Rising Youth work that I was doing, interviewed Andrew as a part of that series, and then saw work that he did that was amazing and was like, yo, can you do something like that for me? But and so you maintain that relationship, keep going, you keep making things, it's great, but I don't know, man. I have more belief in me, and I've proven that I can do, in most cases, what I need and want to do. And there's not a lot that I think about at a base creative level that I can't manifest. The stuff that I'm asking Andrew to do, it's like, no, you should just do that. And maybe the way we go about this next phase of what we create will be a little bit different. So I'm not completely off of working with Andrew by any means, but I really do have to reconfigure how that works, what I'm actually asking others to do, what it is that I can actually do myself. Maybe it will take more time for me to do it myself. But if you verse the time that it takes for me to do the task and the time that it takes in the back and forth, the mistakes that they may or may not make, the amount of money that I have to spend in order to do that, the amount of editing and revising that it requires to get, I may as well just fucking do it on my own. Remove this other person who in a lot of ways is great, but can create stress and annoyance for me. I just know how I am. I can't make clothes or design shit, so make the shirts and send the shirts. But can I make a Word document that's engaging and creative and has certain information on it? Yeah. So fucking do it. Keep my money, have more controlling my creative. You know what it is though? I think it has to do with my innate desire to want to build a team and have trusted people around me that, well, when I'm offering video services, it was always great to be able to have a photographer that I could say, yeah, well, I don't do stills, but they could do it. I already told you about the 2 photographers that I knew that could not tell me what it costs to hire them. Well, how the fuck am I supposed to put you on my team if you don't even have your shit in order? So I'm naturally wired as an athlete, basketball player, to work as a team. But I'm really starting to realize that a lot of what I can do, a lot of what I have the ability to do, a lot of what can be manifested and created and put out into the world, I don't need other people. Sometimes I want other people, but I don't actually need them. And if I do a better job in separating that and being smart about that, then it actually strengthens the relationship. It makes it clear what's necessary and what's not, where they're valuable, where they're not, where their time is best spent, where my time is best spent. I just gotta figure that out. But the truth is, I got a sick belief in what I'm doing right now that I don't care to involve others. And where I'm at and what I need to create, I need to just keep my head down and tunnel vision and stay focused. The fact that I even had to deal with, you know what's annoying? I got annoyed at myself for even suggesting to change the website and update it from CTN to Talk Too Much, because I was like, I know that's more work to do, and I don't even really want to go back. I don't want to go back to that. If it wasn't for that yellow lined paper idea, I would have just said fuck it and moved on. I can't do the yellow lined paper part on my own. That's like a real coding thing. But the rest of it I can build on my own. All right, so scrap that idea and move on. Like, I didn't need to go back. Look what happens when you go back. Look at the shit you fucking drum up when you go back. Not worth it, man. Not fucking worth it. So yeah, I'm keeping my creativity to myself. I'm manifesting it in my own way. I'm keeping hold of that shit. I have control of that. I'm running with mine. Mine. That's it. That's all I got, man. I got me and my own ability to deliver shit. And I got to just bet on that. I got to double, triple, quadruple down on that. All the chips on the table for me. Belief in me. And I'm seeing what I'm doing, and fuck it, man. I can't be stopped. You gotta be sick in your fucking head if you think this train is moving, stopping, slowing down for anyone. You will get trampled the fuck over.